Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the deeply intertwined concepts of risk and reward. And we're going to do this by looking at a remarkably devastating, but honestly incredibly educational story of a local farmer's completely ruined harvest. It's crazy how one simple agricultural mistake perfectly mirrors the financial traps that you and I face every single day.
So what exactly can a failed watermelon crop teach us about the secret to building wealth? Well, it turns out this single farming mistake holds the absolute key to understanding everyday economics. And the best part? We're doing this with zero confusing financial jargon. Seriously, we're leaving Wall Street behind and we're heading straight to the farm because at the end of the day, the mechanics of building wealth and protecting your assets, they're exactly the same whether you're trading stocks or planting seeds in the dirt.
All right, let's start with a farmer named Hamid Baba. Imagine his absolute despair for a second. His entire watermelon crop, which he poured literally all of his resources into, was completely wiped out by an infestation of worms. Not one single plant survived. As Hamid put it himself, "I risked everything and look now, they're all gone." This massive failure left him and his young son, Nasir, totally terrified about their financial survival. You know, when your livelihood depends on the harvest, a total loss like this isn't just a minor bump in the road, it is a full-blown existential threat.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the stark contrast between getting good advice and, well, taking impulsive action. Hamid's friend, Raju, explicitly told him not to plant watermelons this season. He warned him, but despite that very clear advice, Hamid was adamant. He went all in. He threw down his money, his time, his sweat, and his all-or-nothing bet resulted in a total loss. I mean, this is basically the textbook definition of unmitigated exposure.
Hoping for some kind of lifeline, young Nasir tags along with Raju to deliver the very last batch of a much more successful crop, mangoes. They're dropping them off to Uncle Jushi, who's this loyal customer that's been exclusively buying Hamid's mangoes for 24 years. And this delivery is absolutely crucial, guys, because right now, it represents the absolute last drop of income Hamid's farm is probably going to see for the whole season.
When they arrive, Uncle Jushi immediately spots the worry on Nasir's face. After hearing the tragic tale of the watermelons, Jushi takes a beat to teach the kids a really fundamental rule of finance. He defines risk so simply and beautifully. Risk is just the possibility of losing something of value. Whether that value is your money, your time, your health, or, an entire field of watermelons, risk is that shadow that follows any venture where a loss is possible.
Then Uncle Jushi points out a pretty fascinating piece of history. 30 years ago, way before Nasi was even born, Hamid took a massive, brilliant risk by experimenting with planting mangoes instead of bananas. And wow, did that risk pay off with a huge, decades-long reward? But his recent watermelon experiment? That was a risk that yielded absolutely zero reward. It really just goes to show that simply having an appetite for risk doesn't guarantee the market, or in this case, Mother Nature, is actually going to reward you.
Which brings us to a super vital question. Honestly, this might be the most important question for anyone looking to build wealth or even just try something new. How do you survive a risk that goes completely wrong? Because if taking risks is a hard requirement for getting big rewards, how do we make sure a failure doesn't just wipe us off the map completely, like Hamid's watermelon patch?
Well, Uncle Joshi brilliantly illustrates the answer through his own pickle business. Joshi started out with mango pickles, right? Massive hit. He then used some of that money to experiment and created a lemon pickle, which also sold really well. But then he tried a chili pickle, and nobody bought it. It was a total financial failure. He literally lost all the money he invested in that chili product.
So what's the crucial takeaway here? Uncle Jushi easily survived that chili disaster because his massive mango and lemon profits acted as a financial safety net. The small chunk of money he lost on the chili was completely absorbed by the massive success of his other products. And this is the exact opposite of what Hamid did. Hamid bet every single dollar, all of his resources, on those watermelons without keeping any safety net whatsoever.
Hearing this story, the kids quickly realize a core, undeniable truth. Risk and reward go hand in hand. They are permanently linked. You literally cannot have the potential for a reward without accepting some level of risk. And that means every single decision you make requires carefully weighing the potential losses against the potential gains, and ensuring you are actually positioned to survive if the worst-case scenario happens.
And hey, this logic applies to everyday scenarios entirely outside of business and finance too. Think about just traveling down the road on a tractor. You risk a road mishap, sure, but the reward is carrying heavy loads and reaching your destination way faster. Or what about climbing a really tall jackfruit tree? You might be tempted to risk losing your balance and taking a bad fall, all just to reap the reward of plucking that perfectly juicy fruit at the very top. Literally everything involves this calculation.
Even eating junk food is an economic calculation. When we eat junk food, the risk to our long-term health is weighed against the immediate, fleeting reward of how good it tastes. Though, let's be real, the risk is actually much higher than the reward there. And that is exactly why, instead of giving the stressed-out kids sugary snacks, Uncle Joshi served them healthy buttermilk and fresh guava. The guy was practicing what he preached, even when he was just hosting guests. But let's return to the anxiety of our main story. Because we're left with a pretty looming question. With the watermelons entirely dead, does Hamid Baba's failed experiment mean his bank account is literally going to hit zero? Is he going to have absolutely no money left to feed his family?
Fortunately, the answer is no. Hamid is one of the most experienced and skilled farmers in Sulva. He knows his craft inside and out. Because of that historical expertise, and because Uncle Joshi is paying him for this very last batch of mangoes, Hamid is going to have some money to survive. That final mango payment? That is the physical safety net he so desperately needs to keep his family afloat while he regroups from the whole watermelon disaster.
But wait, the story gets even deeper. Looking at an old photograph, Jushi reveals a really surprising and honestly touching fact to Nasir. Jushi's own booming, super successful pickle business only exists today because Hamid blindly took a risk on him many years ago. When Jushi was first starting out with zero capital, Hamid gave him all the mangoes he could and told him not to worry about the money. Hamid extended him credit based on pure trust.
That early risk Hamid took, just to blindly support a friend, didn't just pay off financially over the next 24 years, it built a lifelong relationship. And it's that exact relationship that is directly saving his farm today. Because Hamid supported Josh's early risk, Josh is now the steady, loyal customer providing the exact mango income that's cushioning Hamid's current watermelon disaster. Past risks, especially when taken with good people, build future rewards in ways we really can't always predict.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on. What calculated risks are you taking in your own life today? Are the potential rewards truly worth the exposure? And maybe most importantly, if your watermelons fail tomorrow, do you have a mango safety net ready to catch you? Think about it. Structure your risks wisely, and whatever you do, never bet the whole farm on a single seed.